I can't find the words to explain to you how good these pro gamers are.
He's actually stimming his units as he leaves the base. He's trying to get so many other players' face that there's not even time for the Bailings to finish.
Naniwa's got his army split up. He's got one attack on the right-hand side. Another chasing down the army. Storm's come down!
These are the best of the best in esports history.
And Huck starting to blink forward as the Zealots are removed. The supply goes in Huck's favor.
So much energy. Where did that energy come from? Tanks desperately trying to target fire down Queens.
The Archon's moving forward, a lot is going down here, and only Colossus left over.
He's starting to get some feedbacks down. He's starting to advance forward. Another vortex.
There's the blink forward, trying to get underneath those Brood Lords. Oh, he sends the vortex.
Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the final day of the winter season showdowns. Yeah, I said it. A lot of matches, and it's finally coming to an end. It's kind of a bittersweet moment for me because I've really been enjoying casting these matches, but phenomenal Heart of the Storm matches thus far. Of course, best of fives pretty much every single day over the past month to determine who qualifies for the championship event next week. That's right, it's not too far away, and we're trying to find the final player. Of course, my name's axeltoss, joined by axslav. You doing okay today?
I'm doing excellent. You know, again, it's a little bit sad to be on the last match, but look at all that we've seen from the WSS. Every single player here has won their WSS match. Feast, of course, actually went down to that last chance European bracket.
Yep.
Seen who would replace Damaga, but besides him, they all won a best of 5. Every single one of these matches is available on YouTube. YouTube.com/official MLGSC2, and of course, joining them will be live for Knock Bomber and Flash, top 4 from last Dallas event.
I'm like trying to count the race icons. I think it's literally perfect between all of them, if you consider the 4 at the top. Very even racial distribution, of course. It's interesting by country how it's kind of dispersed. We see most of the Zerg players coming from North America, which raises the question to me, how well are they going to do at the championship event? Of course, that's all to come. But today is important because it's the last day, and we need to find out who that last player will be. And it's going to be one of 2.
E.G. Huck or Complexity Sasquatch.
Yes. Huck is probably one of the most well-known North American Protoss players. Has a gigantic fan base, of course, on Evil Geniuses. Sasquatch, he's the guy who kind of came from the woodworks. I think he came from Complexity Academy, actually.
He did.
And then had some ridiculous runs in some MLGs. Eventually got promoted to Complexity Gaming, and here he is competing for a chance to compete at the Winter Championship event.
And you know what else is important is Complexity hasn't had any of their players qualify yet from the North American.
That's true. Of course, QXC fell yesterday to Killer.
I mean, EG's, Idra, he fell. Of course, Suppy did
Suppy
win.
ended up winning.
But they'd love to have Huck there.
Thorzane won too.
Yeah, yeah. But
Stefano won too.
Yeah, EG's mostly won. But
Yeah.
Idra has fallen, and
Sure.
if you think about it, the original EG like superstar team, if you think back about 2 years ago, or actually 2 years ago Huck wasn't there, but a little over a year ago, you're talking about Idra and Huck are like their powerhouse players.
Yeah.
Is this a new generation coming in with Idra losing?
Yeah.
Or will Huck say, no, you know, the new guys can come in, but I am eternal?
Yeah,
Find out.
Huck has a wealth of experience at MLGs. Of course, even a championship under his belt. So he's no stranger to the event. He would love a spot at the Winter Championship event next week. Of course, he has to go through Sasquatch, and Sasquatch is no slouch of a player. He's very good at StarCraft 2.
He's a Sasquatch of a player, in fact. Very large and intimidating. And, you know, it really is. Sasquatch, he's mentioning Complexity Academy. A new kind of up-and-coming player.
It's awesome to see, too.
Yeah, yeah. New up-and-coming. Huck, you mentioned his experience. He's been around forever. It's a tale of the old versus the new. You know, it's going to be super exciting.
And so it begins. The final Game 1 of the Winter Season Showdowns. We'll be in between spawning in the top right-hand location. The Red Zerg player from Team Complexity. He is Sasquatch. His opponent in the bottom left-hand location, the blue Protoss player, very well known. Had a couple stints through the GSL. I'm sure he's been playing a lot of Heart of the Storm to prepare for this match. He is Huck. from Team Evil Geniuses. Honestly, on a personal level, one of my favorite players to commentate. If I'm allowed to say that.
Yes, of course you are.
My favorite match that I ever casted, Huck was actually involved in it, so I guess that's why
And Huck always provides great matches. He's got a wealth of different builds. He pushes the action. He's aggressive. He makes hearts with his probe rallies.
Yes, I'm looking out for those.
Yeah, everything he does is for the viewer. I mean, he's a fan favorite for a reason. It's because he provides games that the fans want to see. Sasquatch, he also, he's one of the Zerg players who has, I would say, almost him and Ghost User both have like this wealth of crazy builds they'll do. They'll do a lot of 2-base tech builds, but they won't, like most Zergs, if they're going 2-base against Protoss, they're going all in. Ghost User and Sasquatch both have a lot of these unconventional 2-base builds where they're not going all in, but they're trying to get ahead and attack. They're trying to throw something a little bit oddball, and they're really fun builds to watch because you don't see them every day. Faster techs than normal, but not committing to trying to kill your opponent.
We'll have to see what they end up doing here, because of course it's Heart of the Swarm. I think there's a lot more viability with 2-base play, if that's fair to say, considering all the utilities that are available for the Zerg player. Now, it is Daybreak, a longer rush distance, so I could easily see Sasquatch go for a very fast third. Yeah. It's a very standard play, of course. Not getting a gas just yet. At the very least, going to wait for that probe to get out of there. But Huck is pretty much known for this early probe of his. Many nicknames have been given to this guy throughout the years.
Yes, very, very known with their probes. I do think you're right. I don't. Oh, actually, I'd love to say don't. I expect Sasquatch even.
Oh my gosh! Well,
he's getting gas. On Daybreak as a map, I thought this guy would do the 3-base play, sure. But no, he's going to start things off with that fast extractor. You know what? I really like this against Huck. If you think about Huck's PvZ, you think of basically one thing: 2-base, extremely aggressive timings. And those are all designed around hitting the Zerg before they get many units down the field.
That's such a good point.
And if you play something a little bit different, and he's going to take a 3rd base, but if you tech a little bit faster, you get, like road speed out quicker, you get maybe Hydrus out, you do something different, his timings, they're so streamlined. Huck practices hard, and almost anyone in the world, including the professional Koreans, he knows his builds inside and out. They're timed to the second, but timed to the second versus your standard Zerg play, they may not be timed optimally against the type of build Sasquatch is going to use. Yeah,
we'll definitely find out. Let's see, did he pull guys out of gas here after getting 100? Oh, he's just now approaching 100, and it looks like he is, in fact, going to pull drones out of gas. So he is just wanting to get that Zergling speed and then going to proceed relatively standardly, at least through the rest of this early game. Of course, prioritizing those drones and queens, and, of course, eventual creep spread. If he needs to defend, it's going to be... he can feel comfortable just making speedlings. I feel like this is becoming a very common build in Heart of the Storm, just opening up with that early speed just so you can be safe against the scariness that comes from, the 5 to 7 minute mark from a Protoss.
We saw Intro do the same thing against Minigun. Of course, he actually tried to deny the fast third, was unable to, and fell behind. Yeah. Is Sasquatch going to try to use speedings for that same purpose of trying to deny a potential fast third? Of course, Daybreak is a map where Protosses commonly go for a very quick third. At the very least, he'll be able to push back the Stalker Mothership Core pressure without a problem.
Yeah, and of course, there's always the chance your Protoss opponent, stays on the map a little bit too long with the Zealot, with the Stalker, and the Zerglings can take them off guard with that speed being upgraded. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Huck going to be doing some light aggression here with that Stalker, not trying to get too many kills, just scouting at the very least. And of course, if he can get a drone, that's great. If he can get his opponent to make a leveling, that's great too, as long as he can get that Stalker out alive.
Yes, that's 100% the goal. That Sasquatch is now adding in more gas. He's going up to 3, continuing to mine gas. His lair should be started pretty close to the 7-minute mark. That's usually when the Zerg wants to start that lair tech over.
Speed's about to kick in. The Stalker's dead.
Yep, it is dead. And I mean, you're not, as a Protoss player, you're never prepared for speed at the 7-minute mark.
Yeah.
That's usually when the Zerg player is starting their lair, and they start their speed at like 7:30. So to have speed down to 7 really throws that aggression off the mark. And Huck's definitely have to wait, basically, for more units before he can leave his base.
Speedling's going to keep a close eye on the progress of a potential third from his opponent. Huck adding on 2 gateways in front of this Cyber Core, so he's going to go up to 1, 2, 3, 4 gates and a Twilight Council, it looks like. So either DT play or +2, +2 preparation as far as Twilight Council is concerned, and Blink is a possibility. He could still go for a third, but there's no robotic facility, which is a key missing ingredient here for Huck.
Yeah, normally if you want to play a very defensive style, you're going to get those observers out. Very useful to keep tabs on the server.
We also have a layer just now approaching 70% there in that production tab. Adding on 2 evolution chambers is Sasquatch. Remains to be seen what he really wants to go for. We've seen a lot of Zerg players just research +1 missile and then Carapace, and of course Roach speed right when that layer completes. And then going into Roach Hydra, mixing in the Vipers a little bit later. It's been very strong. Of course, you know, the early Hydras can really help against dealing with the aggressive 2-base plays from the Protoss opponent. You gotta have that concave though. You gotta make sure you know it's coming. And put your units in the right position.
A great pick up there by Sasquatch. No, but he got the probe that was going to build the third Nexus. So Huck's third Nexus is slowed by about half a minute, and that's actually a very significant difference. If you think about the minerals the base can mine in half a minute, all those things add up, and a really nice pick off by Sasquatch. Of course, Huck doing a great job with his hallucination scouting, keeping tabs on exactly what Sasquatch is up to. Sasquatch progressing, just your basic, you know, Carapace range upgrade. Hydranus then going down. So he's going to open some Hydranus. Could potentially put on pressure against Huck, but Huck does have a good number of sentries, and his force fields are usually picture perfect. With great force fields, it's very hard for Zerg to really get aggression done early on Daybreak.
Especially if you're trying to engage against a Nexus when a Mothership Core is in play. You know, Time Warp and Photon Overcharge, very instrumental tools from the Protoss player in deflecting that early aggression. We see Huck continuing to send in those hallucinating Phoenixes, trying to identify exactly what his opponent is doing. Of course, you don't have to research hallucinate anymore in Heart of the Swarm. So Huck just trying to get as much scouting done as possible. I love that decision. He's going to do a little bit of aggression here. But he doesn't have a probe with the pylon. So remember, he can easily recall out of here. He's just going to try to scare his opponent. I don't think he's going to try to kill his opponent by any means.
No, but he's going to try to get a good unit trade. You know what? He can snipe this third hatchery.
Oh, look at this. Sasquatch is actually going to back away.
Yeah, he doesn't have the units right now. He's only got a few Hydranus. Force Field's going to cut those Hydranus in half. 3 of them going to go down very quickly. Huck's going to move in to try to engage the upper section. Drone's going down as well. Sasquatch is trying to make units, but Huck is trading so efficiently here. And remember, he can recall out any second.
Huck killing a lot of Hydras, some Overlords as well. I wonder when he starts targeting down that hatchery, because I think that's the ultimate goal here, taking down the hatchery and then getting out with that Mothership Core recall. If Sasquatch wanted to be fancy, try to target down the Mothership Core with a Hydra end, but that would be very risky indeed, and we should see the recall any second now.
He might just wait to see if he can't do more. I mean, you
That's
can recall,
yeah.
You can recall on a second's notice. He's just, I mean, this little squad of units is doing so much more. Yeah.
Bye.
Jumping out there, you know, he figures what else can he do, right? He's killed everything in that area. I mean, killing the gases wouldn't do too much more. And Huck's got a third base. He's going for the Colossi tech. Sasquatch canceled his 4th hatchery.
Oh.
So even though he saved the drones, because he canceled his hatchery, he had nowhere to send the drones. So he's on 2 bases. He's down in food too. He's down in tech. This is a terrible spot to be in for Sasquatch.
So he's going to try to make something happen with the units he has on the field. Of course, these are units he built in preparation for that push from Huck that never actually got utilized. So he's going to try to engage this third base, but you have to be so careful here because, again, there's Time Warp, there's Force Field, there's Photon Overcharge that can go into the next. I don't see Sasquatch getting a lot done here. I think inevitably he's going to have to retreat, but Huck might not even let him do that. Keep in mind, he does have Blink.
I mean, Huck's army's bigger. There's not necessarily reason to move out to finish off Sasquatch because Huck's working on getting the Colossi on the field, working on +3 weapons, but he's also far enough ahead. He may feel, why not just end it now? Looks like he's going to keep his lesser mobile units, the Sentries and Immortals, back a bit. Try to exercise some map control with the Stalkers. Make sure that any attack coming, he has a little bit of advanced warning, can get into perfect position and be able to respond to it.
The third hatchery just now refinishing there from Sasquatch. He's at 64 Harvesters, down by 10.
And Huck's got his 4th Nexus started, saying, you know what?
Oh boy.
Zerg is supposed to be a base up on Protoss. Well, how about this? How about Protoss being a base up on Zerg? Sasquatch saying, I've got to come in here and do something, but then he sees Huck's army.
Yeah, you're not going to kill this army with that unless the Protoss makes a severe mistake. I'm wondering what Sasquatch's goal here is. Like, what do you do from here? I feel like just turtling, I guess, taking a third, trying to get Vipers out. It's a very tough place to be for Sasquatch, but he's not one to give up.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to keep trying to do something. He is going for that hive tech, just like you said. Wait, does he have 2 infestation pits?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, standard.
Yeah, I was like, I saw Infestation been in production. I saw Hive. I was like, what?
No, yeah, that's definitely a little bit of a miscue there. For
Yeah,
Sasquatch.
I mean, this whole game's gone a little bit south. He's got to be a little frustrated with the way the openings have gone. And 2 Infestation Pits doesn't help him. The food gap isn't that big, but, I mean, Huck's got to base up. And if we look at the army size tab, I mean, that'll say everything. He's got, you know, 1,200 more minerals and about 1,200 more in gas as well. Basically, his army is so much bigger. And it's like force fields plus 3 blink stalkers, colossi, storms finishing versus just mostly hydras. A few roaches there. And Huck's moving out to try to end the game.
Yeah, he is, and he's even transitioning behind this into Storm. So he has a safety measure behind this. Huck playing very safe indeed, even making more probes, saturating that 4th base. But does Sasquatch have an answer to this death ball of a Protoss army? 2 Colossi, I'm not sure there's even a response to that.
Oh, Counter's the best option he has. I mean, or maybe, you know, he tries to have a flank.
Is there much for?
It's on defense duty.
Okay.
He tries to have a flank, but Huck's just going to kill half
Well,
his
if
army.
he can target down these
engages.
Colossi from the back, that could be a step in the right direction, but Huck's going to be too good for that. Moving the Colossi back into the middle of this army, keeping them protected, keeping them around their supporting units. Fungal's going down onto the Protoss army, but Huck's still at 186 supply to his opponent's 128. Sasquatch trying to make something happen, but there's the GG. And Huck is going to take game 1 of this best of 5 in a game that was pretty much defined by, you know, the faster third, and of course that timing push, where he was able to snipe the third, caught Sasquatch completely off guard. Sasquatch abandoned his 3rd base, and then from there, once that third's gone, just recalling back. It's like he's already taking in the Colossi, getting ready for a follow-up push. It's a very hard place to be in for a third player.
It really is. Especially, you have to realize that Sasquatch's build is getting that early speed. The whole purpose of early speed is you're cutting economy, but your speed can threaten counterattacks. It's supposed to keep the Protoss at home so that you don't need to build as many units as fast. What Huck did is said, you know, you can have speed leans. It's okay. I'll move out anyway. And right then is when Sasquatch needs to have a speeding crew counter kill a third, because Huck basically left his whole 3rd base wide open. There's no defenses there. Even as natural, he could have walled it in, but losing the 3rd would have been a big blow. And Sasquatch didn't utilize his speed for the map control and threat counters. And so we didn't have, and of course, because he invested in that, he didn't have the unit count back to defend at home either.
Yeah, great game 1 there by Huck. But this is a best of 5. So you Complexity fans, you Sasquatch fans, there's no reason to go anywhere. Sasquatch still has an ability to come back. We'll see what he can do, guys. Game 2 coming up between Huck and Sasquatch.